But being a pre-programmed class kind of takes away the creativity as an instructor. And so for an instructor who really enjoys that, which is myself, I remember when I first started teaching this, I was like, I don't know if I really like teaching this class or this format because I don't feel like I get to use my creativity or my flair when I teach the class. Hi there. Thanks for watching and tuning in while I am hanging out in our wonderful Studio 501 at the Seattle Pro Club, just preparing for the Ignite class I'm about to teach this evening. I figured I would do a quick video on just teaching more like pre-choreographed or pre-programmed classes. So a good example of that would be like CrossFit, which I still consider to be a group fitness class. Definitely more of a coaching atmosphere, but I feel like you're coaching a large group of people, so you become a group fitness instructor to some extent. So kind of like CrossFit, there's usually a pre-programmed plan for class. And so for this class we have in Seattle, it's called Ignite. And the way I explain it to people is if Orange Theory and CrossFit had a baby, then it would be Ignite. So we have a bunch of heart rate monitor systems. We have, we have the one system, which is MyZone, but we have a bunch of screens in the studio. And then, so that's kind of what makes it more Orange Theory-esque. And then the equipment we offer in this studio is dumbbells, TRXs, we have Aerodyne bikes and Assault treadmills, and we have rowers. So it's kind of got the similar equipment base that Orange Theory has. However, the programming is very CrossFit-like. So we do burpees, we do more like RX movement or prescribed movement. So like squats, we are asking participants to try to bring their hips below parallel. We count reps and we track time, and we use the terminology like we do in CrossFit where we say AMRAP, or as many rounds as possible. But the program is actually created by our head coach at the Seattle location, and then the instructors teach that format. And when I first started teaching the class, and right now I'm filling in for someone in the morning on Thursdays, and then tonight I'm actually teaching a double. So I did the morning class and then I'm doing the evening class. But being a pre-programmed class kind of takes away the creativity as an instructor. And so for an instructor who really enjoys that, which is myself, I remember when I first started teaching this, I was like, I don't know if I really like teaching this class or this format because I don't feel like I get to use my creativity or my flair when I teach the class. And since I've been teaching it more often, and for those of you who have that struggle coming from a more of a class that you're used to creating your own program, and then suddenly you're thrown in a class like this where the format and the exercises have already been chosen for you to teach, then you kind of feel a little thrown off, or you feel like a little more uncomfortable, or you're not quite sure, you don't get to show off your creative flair. And it gives you kind of less to think about as an instructor, which I really enjoy, the multitasking challenge that comes with teaching group fitness classes when it is your own class. And you're memorizing and cueing and creating this experience based on what you made. However, in a pre-programmed class, what I've learned that has helped me fall in love with the class, and this hopefully will help you if you're struggling with the change of teaching a class that's pre-programmed for you, is that it is very time-based, which I love. So whoever created the class or the program, they specifically created the exercises in an order, in a way that they knew, for the most part, if you're efficient with your time as an instructor, that you're going to be able to get everything in the allotted time, and you get to just kind of read what's created for you and provided for you and give the participants what they need. So it takes away a lot of the work in trying to figure out how long you have for an exercise or for a routine. Takes away the planning for class, really, besides, I would say, looking in advance. And if you're someone who loves to plan a class like I am, I'm actually going to go ahead and, instead of use the planning time I would have used for this class to experience the class for myself. So in a moment, I will go ahead and do a quick little like time lapse of myself doing the workout that we have on the schedule for the day. And then I find a lot of value in that, because as an instructor, when you're teaching the format or when you're explaining the format and you're coaching the format, you are able to kind of go into their shoes and know kind of where you felt when you did the workout, where were you mostly exhausted, and where did you have the hardest time as the instructor who just did the workout before them. And I think it gives them, the participants, a lot of respect for you. They're like, oh man, if you say like, hey, I remember when I did these lunges that my grip was getting fatigued when I was holding the dumbbells, they're gonna be like, oh dang, she did the workout too, that's so cool. So I think it gives you some respect. So if you're really that kind of person who loves to plan a class and be really, really prepared for class, I would say not only look at the class plan beforehand, which I highly recommend needs to happen no matter what, look at whatever you're gonna be teaching that day or night, and then also give yourself a chance to experience it if you can, because like I said, it's going to impress the class that you're teaching, and it's going to help you know like where are they getting the most fatigued and where did you as a person who just did the workout need the most motivation. So those are my 2 recommendations to make the best experience. But what's also made me feel like the format's a little more fun to teach, it's just had to kind of get myself into that mindset, is that it really helps take the pressure off of not just the timing, but also the amount of energy during class that you have to put on the actual expression of the format or the class that's been presented to you. So it really helps you as an instructor show up to class and get everything set up and just create this amazing experience with whatever's handed to you. So what I mean by that is, since you have them working out, and a lot of this is time-based, where you're doing, like I said, as many rounds as possible in 12 minutes. So you as the coach are just hitting go, and you have this 12-minute span of time where you're just coaching people. You're not necessarily demonstrating the exercises like you would in like a step class. And so where that energy starts to go is you're like, it's kind of like that, what movie is that? Ricky Bobby, when he's getting interviewed on that, he's like a race car driver, it has Will Ferrell in it, Talladega Nights. When he's getting interviewed by that guy, he's like, I don't know what to do with my hands. And so I feel like that when the class isn't doing a 12-minute AMRAP and I'm just standing there like watching the clock, trying to cheer them on, trying to keep them motivated. So I have some tidbits that'll help you, that have helped me, just have something to do to make sure that you feel like you're more valuable as the instructor when you're teaching the class, because it's up to you to make yourself valuable. It's not up to the workout or to the students or to the person who creates the class to make your class a great experience. That's up to you. What are you bringing to the table? So how you use the participants' names is important. Maybe you know them right when they walk in, so you have the energy and time and the mental capacity, because you don't have to memorize the class, that in this type of format, it should be so easy to get to know names and so easy to remember names. So in that 12-minute AMRAP or whatever it is, you are saying their name over and over and over again. And that's gonna mean a lot more than just, great job guys, keep it up guys, 2 more minutes guys. Give them some one-on-one individual attention. And then give them the energy that they need, and especially if you've done the workout beforehand, you know where they need the most energy. And another thing I really try to focus on when I'm teaching a format like this is I try to be as clear on the expectation and in communicating what the class should feel like and look like for that night and what the expectation is for each workout. So for example, let's say it's a 12-minute AMRAP and there's a lot of cardio intervals in between, which is kind of actually what I'll be doing tonight when I practice the workout. It's really a lot of strength exercises with intervals of short bursts of cardio in between. And so I could explain to the participants during those strength exercises, I really want you to focus on slowing down your movements, catching your breath, but making sure that you've chosen a weight that's challenging for you for these 10 to whatever 15 reps that you're doing that exercise before you head back to the cardio equipment, and then just crush that cardio because it's really short. So I try to be very, very, even though I may not have made the plan, I, as the instructor, can make it really clear as to what they should be feeling, how they should expect to feel, what the goal is or the purpose is for those little blocks of high intensity intervals. So as the instructor, you should be communicating with them how they should expect to be feeling. So I think that's really easy to do and very important to do when you haven't even made the workout. You just have to kind of get an idea of what they're going to be feeling and what you would expect out of them when they're doing the workout. So again, since you don't have to necessarily prepare for the actual class format, that should give you plenty of time to prepare for the class itself. So that means get there as early as possible. Make sure that you look extremely professional. Make sure that the studio, when you get there, looks impeccable. Is the studio clean? Is it ready for you to teach? Is it, maybe even you set up the studio or the room to match what the workout's going to be, especially if they can sign up in advance. Let's say you have a software that allows you to have your students sign up before class begins. You should know, okay, I need 10 spots. They're going to need a mat and they're going to need a kettlebell, and I see that there's 3 women and the suggested weight is whatever weight. You could set up their station, and then when they walk in, they're like, whoa, everything's ready to go, and it kind of gives them like this all-star status, like moment of magic feeling that their stuff is just ready to go. And actually, that's another thing I'd love you to focus on when you're teaching a format like this, is how can you make there be like almost like that white glove experience, white glove service. So what I mean by that is when let's say they're done with their burpees, you know they're on their last round, and they're done with all the equipment around them, maybe you start to put that equipment away. Maybe you clean off their mat. Maybe you grab them some water. Maybe you ask them if they want their water bottle filled up. Maybe you see that their seat is a little bit too high for the bike, or that they could change up their foot placement on the rower. Maybe you help them adjust that in the middle of the workout. So how can you add that, again, something to do? I don't know what to do with my hands during this 12-minute AMRAP. Get in there and help them out. Pay attention to what they're doing in the workout so that you know what rep they're on, you know what round they're on, and you can help be there for them. Otherwise, they could just do this class on their own. Okay, so we talked about communication, names, use names a ton, prepare for class as much as possible, do what you can to make a white glove service or experience, world-class experience. How can you create a show? So how can you be entertaining and exciting and humorous throughout class and the experience? How can you, especially if you've done the workout, you can throw in some humor about how hard it was during this portion, or and it can just make it a lot of fun. So how can you create a show experience out of, even if you haven't created the workout, out of what has been created? Or if you know who's created the workout and they chose 100 burpees that day, you can be like, oh man, so-and-so chose 100 burpees, and then we can all complain about that person. Then they'll still do it anyways. But how can you make it fun? How can you make it personable? And yeah, again, just setting up that expectation, doing your best to make the best experience, I think is what you can really focus on in this type of format, in this type of class. And that's what can make it more rewarding for you as an instructor. You may not have made the exercises, you may not have made the plan, but the way you can make it your own is by making that experience exceptional and by adding the value that you can as an individual. Because even though the workout may be the same workout throughout the day and there's different coaches teaching the same thing, what can you do to make it different, to make it more exciting, to make it better? The last thing I wanted to say about show that I forgot, that I just remembered, is that maybe you are good about your music volume. So how do you, when you're coaching, make it really clear that you're the lead, you're in charge, and turn down the music, and then when that music starts up again, maybe they are doing intervals and you crank up the music when it's time to go and you turn down the music when it's time to rest. How cool is that experience? How different is that experience? So not every coach is going to do that, but you can add that change to your classes by making that experience a little different. So cheers to everybody, by the way. Feeling really cool. We sell these in our Seattle club, and they're very tasty. So if you're not a Bang fan, you should try them. But they're a delicious energy drink that have some. Bang should support me in this video. I should be calling them out for some like sponsors or something. But I'm drinking this Hummer. Lots of caffeine. How much caffeine is in this? Oh, a lot of caffeine. I don't even want to know. I'm just gonna drink it there's creatine in here too, so we know I'll recover right before class. But I better get going. I'm going to do that workout, and wish me luck. It's not easy. I'll show some photos and images of what the workout is actually going to be, and then I'm going to coach that bad boy. But cheers again. Taking in all those chemicals. So finished those 2 workouts, and they were good. They were fun. Got a good feeling for what the members are going to feel when they do the workout tonight. I'm not sure how many people I'm going to have tonight because, like you've probably seen, I am in Seattle, and tonight the Seahawks are playing a home game. I already talked to the bar instructor who had a small class, and we shall see who shows up tonight. But you know what? I'm ready for them, and that's all that matters. And if you're an instructor who's had a night where you're like, you know what, it's Halloween night, I wonder how many people are going to show up, just own it. Just make it as fun as possible. And you know what, I'm excited because whoever does show up is going to get an awesome workout and have an awesome coach who knows what the workout feels like. I'll share my times and everything with everybody, and maybe you can jump in and do these workouts as well. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching.